All right, Saagar, what are you looking at?
It's been nearly a week now since Taylor Lorenz in the Washington Post revealed the identity of the person behind the popular Twitter account Libs of TikTok, which sparked a fierce debate online as to the ethics of the decision. Was it really appropriate for Jeff Bezos' multi-billion-dollar reporting resources to be used by activist journalist Taylor Lorenz to unveil the identity of a private citizen who at the end of the day is just reposting videos with an editorial bent? Now, I have a somewhat nuanced take that I want to flesh out with all of you. First of all, this, which may be unpopular with my right-wing listeners. I actually think Libs of TikTok did reach the threshold of a public figure. She unquestionably is one of the most important conservative activists in the entire country, and is probably more responsible than any one person for the passage of the recent Florida law banning sexual ideology being taught to children between kindergarten and third grade. And as I wrote in reaction, the real story is, to me, is how this person came out of nowhere to such prominence. Why does the ideology resonate so much with the American and Floridian public? You can disagree if you would like, but the recent important question to ask is the content you don't like is why is this doing well? Not to try and take it down. It's in that vein that Lorenz acted. Lorenz, of course, is the famous journalist who collapsed into tears on national TV because of online harassment. And yet, merely a week after the spectacle, she went out of her way to reveal the identity of the Libs of TikTok account, in which she linked to a private real estate license of the owner, explicitly attempting to dox her. She visited the house of a relative of the owner and then, quote, quoted numerous people who paint her as a hate mongerer online. That's just the story. There was zero discussion. Why is this stuff resonating in the first place? Almost immediately, the backlash was happening. And it's in their response to the backlash where the gaslighting is reaching new heights that I did not even think possible by these liars. First and foremost, the Washington Post came to Lorenz's defense, saying she is an accomplished and professional journalist. Lol to that. Adding, though, quote, "We did not publish or link to any details of her personal life." They added this specifically to hit back at the doxing allegations. But, as the Washington Post knows, the internet never forgets. Archived versions of the story show that the Post actually did link to that real estate license for the owner of the account and only deleted it immediately upon public backlash. They did not mention that at all, and it's a direct lie. That was the initial defense. But one thing that we know about Lorenz is she really just cannot help herself. So on Sunday, she appeared on Brian Stelter's failing CNN program, Reliable Sources, to defend her reporting, lying again about doxing, but also dropping another revealing comment. Let's take a listen.
So here's the next one. The conservative supporters of this account said, you were doxing the person. You're doxing them. So can you tell us how you actually define doxing and the difference between doxing and real reporting?
Yeah, of course. Well, the word doxing has been so devalued and it just kind of is a buzzword now in the right-wing media. Doxing means revealing highly personal, non-public information with the goal of harassment or sort of destroying someone's life. We absolutely did not reveal any personal information about this woman at all. And I think it's incredibly important, you know, as someone that covers the influencer industry, to know who is exerting influence in this way. I mean, for all we knew, this could have been a foreign actor, right? Or someone we just didn't know. And so I thought, hey, look, this account has massive power, massive influence. This woman is basically...
A foreign actor. Interesting language, and actually worth parsing. As David Sachs points out in response, the excuse to investigate Libs of TikTok is that she might be a foreign actor, but the excuse for not reporting on the Hunter Biden laptop story or the Hillary Clinton emails is that they could be foreign disinformation. So which is it? Foreign actors are worth reporting on when they're dissident to the cultural regime, but not when they challenge the cultural regime. Obviously, these things all crumble in their inconsistency. If they were concerned the account being run by a foreign actor, they could have investigated and just said, okay, we confirm it is not a foreign actor. The final point, though, that I'll make here is about the death of journalism, with a take that I borrow from Matthew Iglesias, which is this. Look, if Taylor Lorenz wants to be a cringe columnist where she expresses her opinions to a bunch of woke libs who read the Washington Post, that is actually fine. It's a free country. But it is obvious when you read her story that she hates Libs of TikTok and thinks that it's bad. Fine, just express that opinion. The real problem is that the journalism you see today is just thinly veiled opinion columns disguised as news stories. She has to dress up her fake doxing campaign and opinion as a quote-unquote reporting. So just say that you hate her and you're a woke lib. Everybody knows that already. The rise of Lorenz herself is a real story behind the death of journalism. I cannot tell you how many people I know who work inside these major media companies who privately tell me she is unhinged and unprofessional. But they all are either cowed by her or even come to her defense because they are terrified themselves of being branded as anti-trans, anti-woke, or right-wing. She is holding much of professional journalism hostage in the same way that many wokesters are in the same major corporations and media companies that are today. The death of that industry has wide-ranging implications, as we see in the fusion of so-called journalism to just becoming opinion reporting. In this, we find ourselves in a real bind. We all have to parse individual news articles. Are they true? Are they not? Who wrote it? Not really being able to rely on one organization for facts. That is what we're trying to fix here. But it takes a lot of money and time, and major institutions that have been charged with the trust of the American public are collapsing at the same time. More importantly, what we see from the Taylor Lorenz saga is that this is a dangerous time for anyone who is a dissident against the cultural regime. Not only will they dox you and reveal your public information, but if you fight back, they will use their crocodile tears on national TV to say you are harassing them and then brand you everything under the sun. They preserve to preserve the monopoly on the right to dox. Now, the best way you can fight back is to replace them. That's why Crystal and I are investing inordinate amounts of resources as we approach our 1-year anniversary to try to build a new mainstream. And as they destroy their trust amongst the public, somebody has to step up. It can't just be us. It really does have to be everybody, because you have to turn them out, turn them off, and make them pay in the only way that matters, which is not paying attention to them in the way that they want. I think that, the Iglesias part of this was the best point, which is
cable news is ripping us apart, dividing the country, making it impossible to function as a society, and making it impossible to know just what is true and what is false. But the good news is they are failing and they know it.
That is why we're building something new, a new mainstream, a healthier one, something more trustworthy, something that we are going to need in one of the most pivotal times in American history. We are building up here for the midterms, for the upcoming presidential election, but we need your help. So if you can help us out by becoming a premium member today at breakingpoints.com, we're trying to change America for the better and the entire world.
So what are you waiting for, guys? Go to breakingpoints.com and sign up and help us build a new mainstream.